Welcome everybody to Diablo 3. My name as always is Maxwell, and I thought today, because I've mentioned in the last couple of vlogs that I've done that I'm going to be doing content for the Reaper of Souls when that launches, and a few of you said that you'd like me to stream that as well, so I'm going to start looking into that. But I thought, prior to the Reaper of Souls, if any of you guys are still playing Diablo 3 and want to try and get yourself as prepared as possible for Reaper of Souls, I thought I'd bring you a few videos in the lead up to the launch next week, and go through some information. So the first thing I want to talk about is Paragon leveling. Obviously, equipment is going to get outclassed pretty quickly when the expansion hits, but the one thing that you're going to carry over is your Paragon level. So really, each single Paragon level isn't a massive jump in power each time, but with the fact that you can gain pretty much infinite Paragon levels, and you are going to carry them over into Reaper of Souls, then you are going to be able to start with an advantage over people who haven't necessarily farmed those Paragon levels. So basically what I want to go through today is go through a couple of farming runs and techniques that I've found for maximizing your Paragon XP. So some of these are gear dependent. The first one we're going to talk about, if you can handle the game on Torment 3 or higher, then this is the one that I would recommend for you. The reasons for that is, well, I'll explain as we go. What you want to do is you want to head to Act 2, a Royal Audience, and begin quest. Hit OK on that, and you want to be on Torment at least 3. I mean, you can still do it on Torment 2 if you want, but the second run that I'm going to go through is more efficient when you play on lower difficulties. So we'll just go ahead and start that game up. And the reason that this one is better for higher Torment levels is because the majority of the XP we're going to get from this one is from a quest reward. So it's going to be the quest reward for completing the quest. Don't worry, this isn't going to be like a Mira or Captain of the Guard run that got nerfed recently by Blizzard in the hotfixes, because with that one you get diminishing returns as the quest reward. This one doesn't suffer from that, and I think it's just because they feel that the run to do it is long enough that they don't need to do that. So what you want to do is just continue through the quest as it is, and then when you get to this point here, you're going to get attacked by a whole bunch of snakes. Just run around. I'm only doing this on Torment 3 just so we can get through it as quickly as possible. Just burn these guys down as quick as you can. My gear isn't the most fantastic, so this takes a little bit of time to burn these guys down. But that's it. Once you've killed those, wait for the little bit of story to go on, and then always remember to open these chests, because the legendary drop rate has been buffed for chests and destructible items. What you can do though is you can just open the chest and continue running, because if it drops a legendary, that's going to show on the screen, so you're going to know that that's happened. What you want to do is get to this point, destroy these obelisks here. Now if you're slightly worried about the amount of enemies, you don't have to fight them. You can just run on and continue to the end of the quest. But to be honest, it's a good chunk of XP right here. You see the amount of trash we're burning down here is quite significant. So it's a decent amount of XP you pick up from that. Once you've burned all those, carry on. Head all the way down the road here. And then what you can do is, again, if you're worried about killing everything, you can just give them the run around like this. Until the sewer opens up there, and then you can do that. Or, like I said, this is a pretty good amount of trash mobs, so it's generally a good idea just to burn them down, because you get a decent amount of XP just from these guys. And then there we go, all them burnt down. Head into the sewers, and that is our quest complete. We get ourselves for Torment 3 3.6 million XP. The higher the Torment level you play it on, obviously the better the reward from that. So if you can play it on a higher Torment level than 3 or 4, definitely go ahead and do that. Basically, whatever your gear will permit. And with the auction house being down now, you can only really rely on yourself for gear. But as you saw there, Torment 3, we got 3.6 million XP towards our next Paragon level. On Torment 6, you get about 10 million XP for running that. You get about 9.8 million, I think that is. And then once you're done, you just hit leave game. Then head back into the game settings, change the quest, back to a royal audience, hit OK, and then straight back in. Yes, it's boring, yes, it's tedious, but it brings a lot of experience. So the second run I want to talk about is when your gear may not be up to that run there to play it on Torment 3 or higher. The reason I wouldn't really recommend playing it on Torment 2 is I think you get about 2.5 million XP per quest complete, but the other run we're going to talk about here, Crypt of the Ancients, is a lot more efficient. So what you want to do is go to the Broken Blade quest on Act number 1, head down to Talk to Alaric and hit OK. Again, I'll put it on Torment 2 because you only really want to do this on Torment 2. If you can play higher than Torment 2, then do the other run that I talked about, because that's going to net you more overall experience. The only thing you have to watch out for is head to the Drowned Temple, by the way. The only thing you have to watch out for is the Crypt of the Ancient runs. They automatically have an elite pack in there. So talk to this fella, and then head on over here. I'm just going to quickly, bear with me. No, it's okay. And then what you want to do is just head into the forest here. And what you want to do is you want to head to the right here, and you want to follow a route that I kind of lay out here. Just ignore all these mobs because they don't matter at all. Just try and get through without dying. And then it's always to the right hand side of the center is this thing here, and this is what we are looking for. And once you're in here, just proceed to go around and kill everything. It's normally best to just gather everything up and then try and burn them down, but with the elite mob being right at the start, yeah, them kicking out a decent amount of damage. So being a wizard, there are obviously some combinations which are just going to be horrendously annoying, which is this one here, the lightning and the stuff on the ground. So we're just going to have to give them the run around. You can see why I wouldn't recommend doing this any higher than Torment 2. If you can afford to do it on Torment 3, go and do the other run instead. Just because with the one elite pack in here, this can be annoying if you get a bad combination of elite skills, as I've gotten here, which is sort of the lightning and the ground poison and everything. But as you can see, it's netting a decent amount of XP. Obviously, with fighting an elite pack, you're going to have that decent chance of dropping good loot. And we've just got a health well up here, so remember that that's there for an emergency. Always open the chests. Like I said, you don't have to hang around. You can just go and see if there's anything there, and if there is, then loot it. If there isn't, run on. Oh. And then burn them down. And then there you go. I would say, also though, if you are in need of loot, then I would definitely recommend doing this run, because you've got a much higher chance of getting decent loot. As you can see here, I've dropped a legendary mace, and this is only the second run I've done today. I literally switched the game on, so it's not like I've been killing hundreds of mobs, and then this is finally my legendary drop. So just burn the rest of the mobs down. Remember, once you've gotten all these guys down, then there is normally a large amount of mobs down this little route here. So burn all these guys down. Take our time here, kill that guy, and then once you are done and killed everything, you want to teleport back to town.
But not like this, eh? Yes, it's not like it was.
Now the bonus this run has is when you go and leave the game here, you don't need to go back into the options, because you definitely don't pick up the crown in the top right hand corner. Definitely don't do that. And when you exit the game there, you just hit resume. You don't have to go into the game settings and change anything. You don't have to reset your quest or anything. Just hit resume, and then what will happen is, when this thing decides to load in, is you are left with a town portal to the Crypt of the Ancients, and everything is reset. So you can just go ahead and do it straight away again. This is going to be a little bit more difficult to burn down, just because these guys have reflect damage and those arcane gates, which are horrendously annoying for anything that's a little bit squishy. Especially when we can't burn anything down in 100% of our arcane power. But there we go. So again, just same as last time, run around, gather everything up, kill all of the trash. Remember to take out the summoners as well, because they get annoying. Sometimes you'll find that there aren't that many mobs in here, and when that happens you just think, oh well, and move on. But if there's not normally that many mobs up the top, there's normally a decent amount down the bottom here, and you can generally get a decent amount of XP. But the benefit this has over the other run is this one does generally offer better loot. As you saw, I just picked up a legendary mace. And it also is quicker, because now we're done. We'll just teleport back, leave the game, and that is that. I'm going to go ahead and ID the mace while we're here, just in case you guys want to have a look at it. And there we go, half decent mace. Not as good as what I'm using, the Azure Wrath, but still not too bad. If any of you play Wizards, incidentally, I'll quickly go through my spec as well, because it's a pretty good AoE clear farming spec. So what we have is Arcane Torrent with the Cascade Rune. And enemies hit by Arcane Torrent have a 12.5 chance to spawn a new missile, basically. We have Slow Time with the 10% increased damage. That's the Time Warp rune. We have Frost Nova with Frozen Mist rune, which changes the Frost Nova. Instead of freezing the enemies, it does 915% weapon damage. We have Magic Weapon with the Force Weapon, which gives us an extra 10% damage. We have the Familiar with the Spark Flint, which again gives us another 10% damage. We have Ice Armor with Frozen Storm, which does 28% weapon damage as cold damage every second. Astral Presence, just to increase this arcane power. As you may have noticed, we don't have an arcane power generating spell, so what we do is we just bump up our arcane power as much as possible. Use Astral Presence and your Paragon levels to bump that up as much as possible. Take Cold Blooded, because chilled and frozen enemies take 10% more damage, and with the Ice Armor, any melee attacker is either chilled or frozen. So anybody who hits you is going to take 10% more damage. And then we take Glass Cannon, because you increase all damage done by 15%, but you decrease your armor and resistance by 10%. But with Paragon levels, bumping up your all resist, you're still going to be pretty good on that one. So that's it for this farming route. If you enjoyed the video, found it useful and informative, leave me a like or favourite. One other quick thing I will mention: if you are playing a lot of Diablo and you don't have a group of people to play with, then definitely go ahead and look for our clan, which is Screen Reality Games, SRG. You can just go ahead, it's open to join, you can join that, and if you ever see us online, we can just have a quick game and I'll run through some of these farming routes with you, and we can get that going. So hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, leave me a like or favourite, stick a comment in the comment section below letting me know what you thought, and if you have your own farming routes which work out pretty well, leave me a comment in the comment section below letting me know, and we'll go and check those out and have a look and see what they are like. So getting pretty excited for Reaper of Souls. If you want to see any more pre-Reaper of Souls content, so sort of leading up to the release, let me know and I'll get on that and get you some made. So thanks very much for watching, everybody, and I will catch you next time.